All right, let's get going here. So this is Brenda Meller, and today's video is an instructional video, and I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to create a Facebook image using Canva for your designs. So getting started here, if you haven't already used Canva, I highly recommend it. It's a really great site for making graphic designs as you're creating social media posts. And they do have a lot of great templates that are in here. One thing I have found is even though they have posts that are created for the specific social network, sometimes the sizes aren't exactly perfect for the post. So in this case, they're recommending a 940 by 7088 post size, and I've actually found that 900 by 7888 works a little bit better. So I'm going to modify this and just do a 900 by 788 and then click on design. And Canva's now going to pop up this box, and I can see right away it has an untitled design. So what I'd like to do is rename this, and I'm going to do Facebook 900 by 788 pics, so that way I know what the design sign is. And I'm going to refer back to the email, and this is actually a gentleman I'm working with and helping him to do some marketing and social media promotion for his business, and the company is the Wine Counselor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the text that he's given me in the email to create this design. So the very first thing I'm going to do is if I click on this white box and I hit the letter T, that's going to pop up a text box. And I'm simply going to drop the text from the email that I received from Michael into this box. That way I have kind of the information right in front of me for quick reference as I'm working on this design. So I can see here, this is an event for Michael's company, the Wine Counselor, and the event name is the 5 S's of Wine, How to Taste Wine Like a Sommelier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through Canva to see what type of images they have with the word wine in them. Now, I really like photos for event promotion images, and I'm going to look through to see what does Canva offer in terms of wine, and we can see we have some free wine glasses images and cork images, and there's a couple other things, but I really do like this image here of these different bottles of wine, and in particular because he's talking about the 5 S's of wine. I like to use things that have multiple images in the background because he's going to be talking about multiple types of wine at his event. All right, so I've now got the image in the background. I can see here it's really hard to read this text on top of that image. So what I might try to do here is if I add a white block in here, and then maybe I just kind of move it around a little bit here on the page, and I'm going to arrange it to set it to the back. And that way I have something that my text can be a little bit easier to read. Now, I'm not crazy about the complete lack of wine bottles showing through. So what I might do is click on contrast here and maybe take it down to, I don't know, about 80 or so. So I've got some transparency that's coming in the background here, but it's not quite to the point where it's completely washed out. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what is the title of this event. So the title of this case looks like it's this first line. And again, if I click on that white box and I put the letter T, then I can have the text in there with just the title. So in marketing, we like to see headlines be a little bit of a different size and a little bit more prominent, so your eye is drawn to that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on the text for this box, and instead of arrow mode, I'm going to choose something that has maybe a little bit of a bold and some different kind of a contrast on there. I know one of the fonts that I really like working with is Archivo Black, so I'm going to try to click on that. And then let's see, maybe I'll take it up to 36 point. And I'm going to drag this so that it's equally spaced across the box. Looks a little bit too big for me, so maybe I'll take this down to a 32, or let's see, maybe a 28. I think I like the size of that. So that looks pretty good. The other thing I'm going to do is if I click on the spacing, I can see the line height is 1.4, and maybe I drag it to maybe a 1.2 instead. On here, I think I like that alignment a little bit better. Okay, very good. And now we've got this information in here about this event, and this is kind of the body copy in here. And just for consistency, I may choose a different font in here instead of Arimo. Maybe I go in through the Archiva, and I think they've got an Archiva Narrow that's in here. And then maybe I take it up to a 21 font size on here. So I think I like the look of that so far. Let's see, maybe I drag this across a little bit. I'd like to get the one line. There we go. The wine is to one line now. Perfect, perfect. So now we've got kind of some basic information that's in here. And then I think if I go back to the email, let's see. I think this is the web address and the ticket number, everything else. So let's see. He's got a phone, a fax, a phone number, and a price for the event. So I think I'm going to choose this block of information right here. Probably don't need to put the fax number in here. So I'm going to grab this information right here. And I'm going to go back to this box and click on the letter T again. And then I'm going to drag this down. And once I click on there, I'm going to drop this copy in here. Okay, so let's see. I want to keep the phone number. I don't need a fax number. I do want to keep the price information in there, and then I want to keep the web address. So let's drag this out just so I can read this a little bit easier. And I'd like to put the call to action all in one section. So what I think I'm going to do first is I'm going to move this ticket price out because this is not really in the call to action. I think I'm going to put the tickets up here. So I'm going to put tickets, $47. And then I know in this case, since there's people drinking wine, I'm going to say it's 21 and over. And then I think in this case it is open to the public, so I may add that in as well. And that way, if people are familiar with the Grosse Pointe War Memorial, sometimes it's only open for private events. So in this case, kind of specifying it's not just members of the club, but it's open to the public. And then I'll kind of leave that in there. All right, so we've got phone, our email, and our web address. So I would like to put this information actually down in the bottom. So I think what I'm going to do here is drop another white box in here. I'm going to probably recolorize this in just a second here, but let's put this box in here because this will be my call to action box at the bottom here. And then rather than white, which is a little bit too stark, I'm going to choose a different color, and I want to choose a color that's a little bit closer to some of the colors I see in the background here. So maybe I choose something that is a little bit more on that brown spectrum that kind of mirrors the brown that we're seeing in there. So now I'm going to move this call to action box to the brown section here. And I can't see that too easily with the black, so let's change this black text to white. And let's see if I can click on there. There we go. I think it just disappeared. Let me try that again here. I think what might have happened here is the box is a little bit too wide. So let me just try to move this box down first. Let's try that again. And then let's click on white. Now we can see it's all white here. All right, so what's the most important item on the call to action is where they would go to register. So I think the registration is on the War Memorial site. If it's not, I know Michael will correct me, and then I'll get this updated graphic for him. But for now, I'm going to assume they can register on the War Memorial website. And then I'm also going to include the phone number and maybe just put a line in between there. And the website, to me, I think is a little bit more important than the phone and the email address. So I may move those down a little bit, make sure that they're kind of centered in here. And then I'm going to put the web address up here at the top. And that's in Archivo Black, which is good. And let's see, let's move this around a little bit. Move this guy up a little bit. There we go. And that way I can move this down a little. Give it a little bit of space in between each of those areas. I think that looks pretty good. What do you think? Yeah, I think so. So now we've got some contrast that's in there. We've got some consistency there. What else might I change in here? So I think I might add a little bit of spacing in here in between the description of the event and then what to do, how to register. In this case, what I would recommend is that we make this more paragraph format, make it into a more skimmable format. One thing I'd like to do is add the day of the week, because some people may know their availability based on the day of the week, not the date September 20th offhand. And then let's also kind of break this address out. So this is the War Memorial, 32 Lakeshore Drive, comma, Grosse Pointe Farms, comma, and then I could just put MI instead of Michigan, save out some characters there. And I think that's about it. So now we've got a graphic that is skimmable, it's easy to read, I think it includes the right information. If Michael decides he wants to change that web address where maybe he's pointing people to an Eventbrite page or something else, we can certainly do so. But otherwise, we've got the contact information for the War Memorial if that's where they can, in fact, register for the event. So the last thing we want to do is click on the download icon, and we keep it as a PNG format, and then we simply click to download it to our desktop. And Canva is automatically going to name it the same information that we've given for the file name. So in this case, you recall at the beginning, I called it Facebook 900 by 788 PX, and that's the file name and also the image size for that, and it's ready for downloading. So after that, we would simply go into the Facebook page, and I'm going to pop you over to Facebook now to show you. This is Michael's Facebook business page called The Wine Counselor, and his slogan here says, "He tastes bad wine so you don't have to." And then he would simply post that as a photo on his page. He might even go into his events and create an event page using that image, but that's kind of it. So this has been an instruction on how to create a Facebook image using Canva. I hope this has been beneficial for you. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel to get additional updates like these. And also be sure to follow me on social media and follow Michael, the wine counselor, on social media as well. And just notice I want to bold this too, so this wine counselor stands out here. That way it'll make it easier for you to read the name in that graphic. So there we go. All right, perfect. Have a great day and look forward to seeing you again for the next video. Take care. Thanks.